Hey guys. How's it going, chat? Man. Couple things. This is not a Mariners Anonymous meeting. I agree with that, Ian. This is not a Mariners Anonymous meeting. The Mariners played okay in this game. Definitely the issues that I have with this game are with Dan Wilson and the umpire. I don't have a problem with what the Mariners offense did today. I think they did a good job. I think that they probably should have, put together a few more runs in some of those at-bats. Daydara, 15 months. Appreciate that. Mariners definitely should have put together a few more runs in those at-bats when the game was on the line. But overall, this was a fun game. I will say that this was a fun game. Dan Wilson needs to be sat down and talked to. Because the fact that you did not walk Willie Adames, like a lot of you are saying in the chat, the fact that you did not walk Willie Adames in that last at-bat is pure stupidity. It's pure stupidity. It's pure mismanagement. It is pure dumbass. Again, we'll get to the umpire here in a second. You have to walk Willie Adames there to get to Jung-Hoo Lee to force a play, a force out. You get a force out. And the infield could back up. You know what I mean? What are we doing? And obviously, there shouldn't have been a runner on second base to begin with because the umpire fucked up. So, you know what I mean? The Mariners got so screwed in that final inning. It is tough. Why wasn't more bunting? Another great question, Levi, because if he would have bunted, that single from Masterboni would have scored Luke Raley. Luke Raley ended up scoring anyway, so the Mariners kind of got a cop out there, but for how much Dan loves bunting, why was Dylan Moore, of all people, not bunting? Listen, I'm not saying Dan Wilson needs to be fired, but I'm saying that his management cost the Mariners the game, along with the umpires. Dan Wilson and the management, Dan Wilson's management and the umpires cost the Mariners this baseball game. The pitching staff, did what they could. It wasn't pretty. Should have called up Class A. That's true. It wasn't pretty by any means, of course. Bizzardo, rough guy to go to there. But the back end of that pen, Spire, Thornton, Santos, and Munoz, they all did their job. Another good game. No Mariners Anonymous today, chat. I don't think that this is a Mariners Anonymous game. I don't think this is a Mariners Anonymous game. I think this is a game that it is awful. It is awful that the Mariners lost this game, but I don't think this is a Mariners Anonymous game. Now, you guys could disagree with that, and I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, I don't know. I think that, dude, Sauce has to go. Yeah. Yeah, hold on, I'm texting Joe. Fritz with the 99 cents, just with the emoji. Yeah, chat, I do want to say something fun did happen today, with this team. And I'm trying to pull it up for you guys here, but my phone's being stupid. So the Mariners, not the Mariners, you know how much we all love Cal Raleigh, right? Big dumper. I will say there is a new Cal Raleigh shirt that has been released, and I think you guys might be interested. Let me show you guys here. Let me just pull it up. This Cal Raleigh shirt. Holy God, why is it so massive? So this Cal Raleigh shirt, chat, could be yours. All right, could be yours if you simply, please hold. Follow that link. You guys could get this Cal Raleigh shirt for yourself. Maybe it'll make you feel better. Thoughts on that? It makes me feel better just looking at it. Oh my God. Look at that butt, chat. Look at that big dumper. That's a great big dumper. Yeah, chat, the McCacken hasn't given up a run as a Twin. That's all I'm going to say. That's our GOAT right there, dude. Yeah, I think that when it comes to the bullpen management from Dan Wilson specifically in this one, it's tough because you only get what, 3 innings? Was it 3 innings from Luis F. Castillo? Yeah, 3 innings from Luis F. Castillo. He gives up 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He didn't, I don't want to say he did his job, because he didn't. Obviously, the Mariners, would rather have your pitcher go more than 3 innings. I do have some thoughts on that as well, but we'll talk about that another time, because I think Joe and I will talk about that in the podcast tomorrow. I think that with the rest of the bullpen management, Taylor Saucedo, man, I love the guy, I really do, and I'm afraid his Twitch mods will come after me for saying this, but I think he needs to be sent down. This is now 2 years in a row now that he just hasn't looked, what we need him to be. And again, I love Taylor Saucedo. I love the dude. I think he's a great person. I don't know if having him on this team is the right move. And I think the Mariners, like a lot of you are saying, are going to need bullpen tomorrow. And I think that Sauce gets sent down because of it. You missed the ending. Munoz couldn't get the job done. Not Munoz, Anna. It was, honestly, it wasn't the pitcher's fault at all. It was the umpire's fault, and it was Dan Wilson's fault. I don't blame Carlos Vargas at all. It was the umpire and Dan Wilson's fault. We need the challenge system. We do. How many options does Sauce have? One option. So he can go back down. That ump should be fired. For some of those, I mean, that umpire literally cost the Mariners the game. He cost the Mariners the game. At that point, you probably could have pitched to Willy Adames in that spot, because excuse me, because there shouldn't have been a guy on first and then second base. Like, in the end, there shouldn't have been a guy on first and then second base, and then you pitch to Adames knowing that the game can only be tied if he hits a single, and the game should only be tied. But because of the umpire missing multiple calls, he gets on base, moves into second base, scores on a single. It was pitiful. The ump wanted to go home. Yeah. Send Dan to Tacoma. Dude. Wow. There's so much... There is so much that I don't understand. Good point, Michael. Good point. With Dan's management style. There's so much that I don't understand. Because, again, someone mentioned earlier, why was Dylan Moore not bunting to advance Luke Raley? They scored Luke Raley in the end, so, they kind of got a cop-out. But Dan Wilson's willing to bunt every 5 seconds. Why is he not bunting there? Of all people to hit. Why is Dan Wilson not having Dylan Moore bunt? I don't understand. And then they intentionally walked, I think it was Adames earlier in the game? Why would you not intentionally walk him again to set up? Why would you not intentionally walk him again to set up a force out? I don't understand. I truly don't get it. Dan Wilson's coaching philosophy makes 0 sense to me. And again, I was pretty okay with a lot of what Scott Service did. Towards the end there was problems with Scott for sure. But Dan, I don't understand. Because Divish says that bunts and steals are for the most part on the players. I would like to say that's fine, but I don't think it matters. I think that Dylan Moore should be bunting there no matter what, and Dan should be calling it no matter what in that situation. He should be calling it no matter what. Dan is two-faced, making decisions with the coin flip. Aaron Urseth with the $2 holla. Big smooches to you, Aaron. The decisions just seem so sporadic, so all over the place, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I wish I had a good answer for you guys as to what we just watched, but I don't blame the team for this loss, which I know is stupid because obviously the team lost. But this loss is on the umpiring crew, and this loss is on Dan Wilson. Can Demo bunt? I mean, all of them practice it every single day. They better know how to bunt by now. Not trusting Vargas to walk in runs a lot of pressure, I guess, but facing a guy who was like how good was Adames last year? Let's see. Was he a 5-win player? Let's find out. I can't remember. He was a 3.1 win player. Deciding to pitch to a guy with a 118 OPS plus last year who hit 251, 331, 462 with 32 home runs. I just don't know. I personally just don't think that's the move. I don't get it. Again, I felt bad for Vargas. I do too. I do too. Vargas should have been out of that inning. He pitched its tail off in that inning. He did a great job. That's the second game in a row that Carlos Vargas has, pitched his tail off. And I do want to mention, chat, kind of my line of thinking with the Mariners in this spot in which George Kirby needs to be coming back. Are you okay with every 5 days having to cook your bullpen? Because that's exactly what the Mariners are doing. How many pitches did Luis Castillo throw today? I'm actually not sure. I was at work for the start of this game, so let me see if I can pull it up here. 1 sec, chat, sorry. Oh, it's not on this page. I can pull it up on my phone. 1 sec, chat. But Claire Jones, I hope the ump enjoys his dinner reservation. I mean, he could have been out of it sooner if he just would have made the right calls. I'm really concerned about this team. It's been rough so far. He threw 50 plus. So, let's see. He threw 68 pitches. So, Luis F. Castillo, threw 68 pitches in this game. I'm not saying you needed to run him back out there for the fourth or what have you, but the fact that they decided to go to the bullpen in the fourth inning instead of running Luis F. Castillo back out there, it just kills your bullpen. And that's why we were down to, that's why the Mariners have to, again, also it was, also the Mariners took this game to extras, but the fact that they did that means that they have to go out there and make a move in the bullpen tomorrow. Instead of just letting Luis F. Castillo go back out there, they wanted to keep this game close, which I completely understand, just so we're clear. But running him out there and running Emerson Hancock out there, you are risking this every 5 days of killing your bullpen. You just can't do that. You just can't do that to this starting staff. Because now it's on, who is it tomorrow? Bryce? It's on Bryce Miller to go out there and give you 7 strong. Because every single person in your bullpen pitched today. Bryce has to go out there, give you 7 strong tomorrow. Otherwise, you're screwed. What are you going to do? You can't, I mean, sure, some of these guys probably didn't throw a ton of pitches, but who do you go to? Do you go to Vargas in that situation now? I just don't understand. Who can we expect tomorrow for possible bullpen pitchers? Caden. I don't know. I mean, is Casey Legumina the move now? I could 100% see them now DFAing Luis F. Castillo and bringing up Casey Legumina until that next start. Fujinami's another option as well. Just some guys that can do some cleanup. Blas Castano is another option, like Nunya says. That's an option. They can't call up Jonathan Diaz Nunya because they just sent it back down. They have to wait 10 days. The only people that have options in that Mariners bullpen are Taylor Saucedo and Gregory Santos. Maybe they send Sauce down. You know what I mean? maybe they send Sauce down in that scenario. I don't know. I truly don't know. And so I don't know what the plan is moving forward for this spot, and it's a problem because you are risking every fifth day running your bullpen into the ground. And I just simply think that is a bad strategy. I think that you go with Logan Evans. Have him give you 5-6 innings. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's going to be the best 5 or 6 innings you've ever seen, but what is the harm in running him out there instead of running out Luis F. Castillo and Emerson Hancock? Every game matters, they say. Every game matters. Prove it. If that's the case, then you don't run out Luis F. Castillo or Emerson Hancock. You just don't. If Sauce goes down, we only have one lefty left, then that's fine. That's fine. I mean, they pretty much only had one lefty all last year. So, I'm not too worried about that. They need a long reliever like Spencer Turnbull, and that's what Jonathan Diaz is. Or even Carlos Vargas. Oh, excuse me. It'll be interesting to see what this bullpen looks tomorrow. Yeah, I'm blaming Dan Wilson and the umpire for that game. What's the harm in giving Carlos Vargas a start? Screw it. I'm in. Give Carlos Vargas a start. I'm in. I don't even care anymore. There were some positives in this game, chat. Jorge Polanco had a decent game. Julio had a pretty decent game with that opposite field home run. Who else had a good game here? Victor was 2 for 7. Julio 3 for 6. Cal was 1 for 4 in this one with 2 walks. Randy had a pretty rough game, 0 for 5 with a walk. Polanco 3 for 5. Luke Raley was 2 for 6. Rowdy was 0 for 2 with a walk. Miles Masterboni had that hit as well. J.P. Crawford had a knock in today's game. And again, you look at the pitching staff. Rough outings for Taylor Saucedo and Edward Bizardo. Like, those are 2 guys that could be off this team tomorrow. Dude, I don't know. I don't know any other way. I'm kind of at a loss for words, chat, for the way that game ended. I'm not even, like, again, this is different for me. Like, when I talk about Mariners Anonymous, right, and like us being so tired of all this stuff, blah blah blah, this isn't the kind of game I'm talking about. I'm downright just like, I don't know. I just don't feel great about how this game ended because it shouldn't have happened. This game should not have happened the way that it did, and that just sucks. Because the umpires screwed the Mariners out of a win here, and Dan Wilson screwed the Mariners out of a win here. And frankly, the Mariners screwed themselves out of a win here by starting Luis F. Castillo in the first place and only throwing him 3 innings. Which I guess is on Dan again. If this continues, how long does Dan Wilson last? If the Mariners play poorly, if the Mariners play like this until August, I think Dan's out in August. I think Dan is gone in August if he continues to pitch or to manage games this poorly. Honestly. I mean, they love Bizardo's stuff, Callum. I'm not really sure what else. I mean, what has he shown you? You know what I mean? Like, I'd much rather have Carlos Vargas on this team right now than Edward Bizardo. So, it was a rough one, man. I mean, a 4-hour game. We spent 4 hours watching that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Just leave Dan in San Francisco. I'm kind of in. Yeah, chat. This stream was a little weird because the game time was weird. I don't know why the hell they were playing at 1:35 on a Friday. Seems pretty stupid to me, but yeah. If they leak Dan's firing like they did Scott's, I mean, Dan has done a horrible job. So, that's possible, Claire. That's a good point. Yeah, and with that being said, Claire, I think that the hard part is that you're punting the game. You're punting the game. If like, okay, so you're knowingly gonna kill your bullpen the rest of the way. Don't bring up Luis F. Castillo in the first place. Bring up Logan Evans, who can throw 5-6 innings. You know, like, it's that easy. It is that easy. home opener. I mean, the Mariners home opener started at 7:10. What's the problem? Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, there's a very decent chance that Dan Wilson's tenure as manager ends in disaster. There's a very good Scott Service wins us today's game. Yes, he does. Scott Service wins today's game, chat. And that's something I'm going to stand behind. For not bringing up Evans, I'm not sure if that's Dipoto, Hollander. I don't know. I'm not sure. Evans got cooked yesterday. He shouldn't be pitching in the PCL anyway. He shouldn't be in AAA. The Mariners don't do that with their starters. I don't know why they did that to begin with. We lost our minds with Scott. Not all of us. You don't think Scott changes anything? Man, Jack, I completely disagree. I think that the Mariners played well today. Again, I think that this game is on Dan Wilson, and this game is on the umpire. Who should we call it when we send down Luis F. Castillo? I think it should be Logan Evans. Personally. So, what did Dan do wrong? He didn't walk Willy Adames. He didn't have Dylan Moore bunt. Like, Dan's so in for bunting, but I'm not blaming Dan for not calling up Logan Evans. When did I say that, brother? I never said that. I never once said that I'm blaming Dan for not bringing up Logan Evans. That was not a word. Those were not words that left my mouth, Jeff. Polo looking like the new offensive man again. True. So true. Manny could be manager. I'm in. Let Manny act to manage. I'm in. Let it happen. Interim manager. This offense can click. No, I think this is overall, this game is a good sign. This game is a good sign. I think that, again, it's on Dan and it's on the umpiring crew. I don't have anything wrong with what the hitters did today. The pitching staff did their best with the cards they were dealt. I mean, they were dealt a pretty shitty hand with Luis F. Castillo only going 3. So, I don't know, chat. I'm going to go eat some dinner. That's what I'm going to go do. And kind of just wash this game away and get ready for tomorrow's game. Stupid start time for this game. So, yeah. But no, I appreciate you guys being here for a quick 25-minute stream. Again, if you guys do want to check out this Cal Raleigh shirt, please go check it out. It helps us out if you were to buy this bad boy. It helps us out quite a bit if you were to buy this bad boy that is pinned at the top of the chat. It's this cool shirt right here. But we really appreciate you guys, just kind of, even after games like today, there was over, 100 something of you guys in here, so I really appreciate that. I'm gonna go eat some lunch, some dinner, because shockingly, Fatty's hungry. So, I appreciate you guys, and I'll probably catch you guys tomorrow after the game. So, go Mariners, I guess.